Don't you just love that time where you have an amazing month of reading? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Allison, and if you've been around for a while, then you know that I have been absent. So, I do not have a good reason for being absent. I was not rethinking my entire life or trying to find, what I want to do or whatever. I was off from filming because my normal filming day, which is Monday evening, ended up being not free for me to be filming. So I think it's been like 3 weeks, pushing 3 weeks since I uploaded a video, and it's super shameful because I really hate not filming. I literally love talking about books and chatting with you guys. So yeah, I don't have any good excuses. I don't have any good reasons. It's a silly reason for not filming, but I am back, and today I am talking about my June wrap up, and I had a really good reading month in June. So today is the 28th. I am not completely done with my books that I am reading for the month, and I have quite a few books to talk about, which is the best part. So we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. My first book for the month of June was The Girl in the Stars by Mark Lawrence, and I really like this book. I'm pretty sure I talked about this book in the one and only June reading update that I did. So yeah, I talked about this one in that video, I'm pretty sure. Actually, you know what am I even saying? I did a book review video for this one, so I will link that in the description and in the cards if you guys want to watch. So this book I gave 4 stars. It was probably like 4.5 stars out of 5. Maybe it was 4 stars. I don't really remember. But I really enjoyed this book. It's an adult fantasy, and it's very unique. I really enjoyed that aspect of it. My hair is just being whatever today. It does whatever it wants. Yay summer. Makes my hair do crazy frizzy curly things. Anyways, so this was my first book of June. I really liked it. So I started March, why do we keep saying March? I started June off really good with a good strong book, and I'm very excited to continue this series in July, and I have the sequel on my TBR for July, so that is pretty exciting. My next book that I read, I actually listened to it on audiobook, was The Two Towers by J.R.R. Tolkien, and this is a reread. I've read this book 2 times now. I think this was my second time reading it, and I really liked it. Well, I listened to it, so I didn't actually read the whole thing. I will link the audiobook that I listened to for this in the description box. It was done by a guy named Phil Daglish, and it's free to listen to because it is fan made. It's not like a official audiobook. So beside the point, it's the best audiobook I've ever listened to of the Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and then The Return of the King he also did. So I will remember to link that below in the description for anyone who is interested. And this was a reread. I think I said that already, and I gave this one 5 out of 5 stars because I love it so much. Book number 3, The Night of the Dragon by Julie Kagawa. The final book in that trilogy, and I really liked it. This was another audiobook that I listened to, and it was pretty good. It probably wasn't my favorite book of the month, but I really did enjoy it, and I'm really glad that I have finished up that trilogy because I've literally been reading it since like 2018, and it took me like a million years to get through. But I finally finished it, so that is wonderful. Now I just need to buy a physical copy of the book because I just don't have a physical copy of it for some reason. So that way I have the completed series on my shelves, and I just really liked it. It was really good. I gave this one 3.5 out of 5 stars. It probably should really be a 4-star book, but I gave it 3.5. My next book, which is my first 5-star book for the year, and it kind of shocked me because it's from a genre that I don't read very often, and that is The Summer Garden by Paulina Simons, and this is a historical fiction, an adult historical fiction. And holy crap, guys, this is the 3rd and final book in the Bronze Horseman trilogy, and it literally was so good. It's almost 800 pages long, and I loved every single freaking page of it. There's I just love all of it. I love everything about this book. Wow. I can't even explain very well how I feel about this book. I absolutely love the entire trilogy, and this book was so good. It was so good. I really, really, really liked it. So let's see. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. So this is my first 5-star book for 2021, which is pretty cool, you know, considering it's July basically. So it took me 6 months to find a 5-star book, and well, okay, not necessarily. I have read other 5-star books, but they were rereads, and I try not to really count those as an official 5 stars, because I've already read them and I love them, and then I read them again and I love them. So they just get 5 stars, but this one I had not read before and it got 5 stars from me, and I so love this book so much. So good. Is Dune Messiah by Frank Herbert. This is the sequel to Dune by the same author, and it is an adult science fiction novel. This one I gave 3 stars out of 5, and that is just because I read it after I read The Summer Garden. So I literally had to force myself to read this tiny 281 page book because it was good. It was a very good book, really well written. The characters were great. After coming off of The Summer Garden, I was like, if I don't pick up a book immediately, I'm going to get thrown in a book slump or a book hangover or something. So I picked this one up, and it was really good. If I hadn't read it after I read The Summer Garden, I probably would have given it 4 stars. It deserves 4 stars. The only things that I really didn't care for too much was the story felt like really rushed. But it was a good book. I think it's a good segue into the 3rd novel. I'm not sure what the 3rd novel is about, but the events that happened in this book kind of needed to happen for the story to progress. And this book was actually originally published in magazine articles, so I think that explains why it's so short and the pacing seems a little bit off, because it wasn't originally published as a novel. It was published as a periodical in a magazine, like a science fiction magazine or something like that. So I understand why it is a little bit weird to read and whatnot, but I am planning on doing a book review for this one because I did a book review for Dune, so I figured I should review this one as well. It probably won't be a very long book review because there's not really that much to talk about in it as far as this one goes, and it's hard to talk about it anyways without spoiling stuff for the first book. So that one might actually be a spoilery book review, just because if you've read Dune, you could watch the review for this video. If you haven't read Dune, there's really no point in watching me do a book review for this book, since, if you kind of have to read Dune first to even be interested in this one. So that would probably just be for people that have already read and enjoyed Dune. And the book I just finished a few days ago was Riel by Garth Nix, and this one was another audiobook. I listened to a lot of audiobooks this month, and the reason for that is because I was getting into Animal Crossing a lot and playing a lot of that, and I was like, I can't, not read and play this game, so listening to an audiobook helps me play my game and read at the same time. It's really, it's like a win-win for me, because I really like playing Animal Crossing and I really like reading, and I also enjoy listening to audiobooks. So this is a chunker of a book. I'm glad I didn't sit and read the entire thing. It's 464 pages. It is the 2nd book in the Old Kingdom series by Garth Nix, and it is, it's not really adult and it's not really YA. It's a book that kind of spans both genres. So I think it's mature enough that adult readers would like this, and it's also, immature enough that YA readers would also like this. And I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because it was really good. I don't know, I like this series a lot, and I don't know if I mentioned that this was a reread for me. I have read almost the whole series previously several times. This was the 3rd time of reading this book, I think. So I'm not new to the world, and I really enjoyed it. So that was the last official book that I read for the month, and I say official because the next book that I'm going to show you guys I haven't actually read yet, and it's The Dragon and the Queen by Caitlin Davis. This book just came out a few days ago. I think it released Tuesday the 21st or 22nd. whichever one of those. And it is a book that I am planning to buddy read, and I actually need to start it tonight after I am done filming, so that's pretty cool. And this book was supposed to be started and probably finished by now, but it's summer, so both of us are really busy, and it's just ridiculous trying to carve out time to read. So this is the third book in the Raven and the Dove series by Caitlin Davis, and I think there's going to be 4 books total. Like I said, this one just came out, and it is in the YA fantasy genre. So I can't tell you what my star rating is going to be for this book because I haven't read it yet, but I will probably be talking about it in my first reading update that I do in July. So I really wasn't too worried about not having read it before this video because I'm going to end up talking about it again anyways. So that is my wrap up for June. I feel like I had a really good month considering how the rest of the year has gone so far. And let's see, my favorite book this month was probably obviously The Summer Garden, because that was my 5-star book and just freaking amazing. My least favorite book was, do I have a least favorite? Probably Dune Messiah, and that's my own fault for reading it after I finished a 5-star book. I should have just taken the week off or something. That probably would have been a smart idea. So I thought this video was going to take a little bit longer, but it hasn't really taken that much time. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into my July TBR because why not? Okay, and we are back with the July TBR. So this TBR is a little bit ambitious for me. Not super ambitious, but we are taking the month of July off homeschooling, so we will be on summer break, and my goal is to read 2 books a week. So that either means 2 things. 1, I won't play Animal Crossing as much, or 2, my house is going to be very dirty for a little while, which is perfectly fine. That's 100% okay to like completely not keep up with my adult responsibilities so that I can read books, right? So anyways, that is the plan for the month of July, and I have 8 books picked out for my TBR, so we're just gonna go ahead and get started talking about them. So the first book I want to read in July is Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel, and this is a adult historical fiction, I'm pretty sure. The first novel in the Thomas Cromwell series by her, I believe. I've never read any of her books before, so she will be a new to me author, and I'm really excited to get into this book. I really just don't know that much about it. Other than like I've heard it's gotten a lot of like not awards, but like, I don't know, when you think of historical fiction, I guess people recommend this one a lot. So it's set in like 1520s England, so it's really like basically ancient historical fiction at this point. So I am excited to get into this one. I figured since I had such good luck with the last historical fiction book I read, I would just continue, and I really like reading historical fiction in the summer for some reason. I really don't know why, it's just a thing with me. That is the time of year that I like to read historical fiction. So this is going to be the first book I'm going to read. I'm really excited to get into it, and I really hope it's good. Book number 2 for the month of July is A Time of Blood by John Gwynne, and this is the sequel to A Time of Dread by John Gwynne, and I really liked A Time of Dread, and it was just really good. That book really surprised me. I was not expecting to like it as much as I did. This is an adult fantasy, and I really don't know what else to say about it. I'm excited to read it because I freaking loved the first book so much. So this book also has it's got a blurb on it by Mark Lawrence, who is the author of The Girl and the Stars. So that's pretty cool. I really like his books because they're not super like cringy. It's adult fantasy, and it's dark and it's gritty, but it's not like disgusting like most adult fantasy is. So I really enjoyed reading that book, and I have heard that sometimes his books do get a little bit darker. Like his newest book that just came out, In the Shadow of the Gods or something like that, is a little bit grittier than these ones, but so far I'm enjoying these. and I really hope this one is just as good as the first one, if not better. So excited for that. And now we kind of are getting into like a random section of my TBR. Like, I really don't know. I just have a bunch of unread books that I've been wanting to read because I hate having my unread books hanging around forever. So the next few books are like just random books that I had on my shelf that I've been needing to read. So the first one is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, and this is a YA fantasy, and I'm pretty sure the author is Australian, which is pretty cool. And I mean, look at how pretty it is. This was the Fairy Loot special edition, and it's so pretty. I really, really like it. It's gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to this one. It's a YA fantasy, so I'm expecting it to be a pretty quick read. Also, have I shown you this map? This map's gorgeous. Look at this map. Gorgeousness. Okay, oops, things are falling out. So I am very excited to get into this one. The Girl in the Mountain. Look at that beautiful cover by Mark Lawrence. Oh, that is foily. I didn't think it was foily. And this is the sequel to The Girl in the Stars, which I absolutely loved. I'm very excited to read this one because Mr. Lawrence had to go and leave off on a freaking cliffhanger at the end of The Girl in the Stars, which I really hate cliffhangers. I really don't like them. But I'm glad I waited to read The Girl in the Stars, waited to read that one until after this one got released, because I didn't have to wait to figure out what the heck happens. So I am very excited to get to this one. I literally just got this a few weeks ago because I was like, I finished The Girl in the Stars. I was like, okay, I need the next book like yesterday, so we're gonna have to get this handled. But look at how pretty this blue foil is. The third book doesn't get released until like 2022 or something, which is really sad. I'm gonna have to wait. Sad face. Okay, and here we are back with another random book off my TBR, and that is The Maiden Ship by, oh, probably I don't even know how to say her name. Is it Michelin or Michelin? Michelin Rickman? I'm so bad. I'm so sorry if I said that wrong. This is just a teeny tiny book, and I got this one from Fae Crate, so it's really pretty. I will just show you guys because I have to. So this is what the hardcover looks like. Look at how beautiful that is. So gorgeous. Okay, and I really don't know that much about this book other than I'm pretty sure it's a YA fantasy. The author is an indie author, so there's that cool aspect to it. I have really grown to appreciate indie authors, and I am trying to figure out why I was such a snob for so long and was unwilling to give these books a try. Not these books particular, but like indie published books in general. Just, I'm like, I really don't want to risk reading that. What if it's horrible? But I've read so many like fully sanctioned, traditionally published books that were just freaking horrible that I really have changed my mind about indie published books, because they're probably pretty good, and I'm just being a ninny about it. So I had really no plans to read this anytime soon, but I added it to my TBR because I was like, you know what? I have like 13 unread books on my TBR. I really need to start actually reading these things and like actually reading, instead of my brain is like, let's do something else. And I'm like, nope, we need to read right now. So this is kind of random, but kind of not, because I need to read it anyways. Okay, so the next few books are, a couple of them are rereads for me, because some of my unread books that I have on my shelves are sequels, and it's been like such a long time since I read them, so I have to kind of reread them to reorient myself with the story. And that is, the first one is the Mime Order. Words are really hard tonight, guys. The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. It is the second novel in the Bone Season series by her, and the fourth book in that series came out a few months ago. I think it actually came out in January, so I've had it for quite a while, and I needed to reread the first 3 books to get back into the loop of things and kind of remember what happened, because I'm pretty sure I read all of them way too fast, that I really don't understand what is going on. But I'm really excited to get back into this one. It's kind of a big book, but it's really good, so I'm really not going to complain too much about it. I'm pretty sure when I read this, I gave it 5 stars. Samantha Shannon is an exemplary writer. I absolutely love her stuff. I did read the book The Priory of the Orange Tree by her, and that book was not as good. I'm really not sure, it's been so long ago since I read that book, but I really didn't care for it that much. And I don't know if I don't think it was her writing. I feel like it was just the story in general that I didn't like. But it's been so long since I read it, I really can't talk about it anymore without being wrong about something, I'm sure. So, but her Bone Season books are freaking awesome. I really, really, really like them. I love them so much. So, they're like gangster vibes, dystopian, so it's a science fiction, and I would consider it an adult science fiction. Like, I feel like it's mature enough to be adult material, but it could also be YA if you're like on the higher range of the YA spectrum. But yeah, gangster vibes, like 1920s gangster vibes, like that's how they talk and dress and stuff. There is she uses like the language of flowers in these things. It's dystopian. It's set in London, or dystopian London, I should say, and the main thing is, what are these people called? Don't mind my dishwasher going off. It likes to sing when it's done. Clairvoyance, that was the word. Okay, so the magic in this book is clairvoyance. So if you're into gangster things at all, dystopian settings at all, clairvoyance at all, like, it's really freaking good. I really, really like it. I can never recommend these books enough, and I feel like more people need to read them. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because I'll be here all day. The next book I have is my other reread, and that is The Return of the King by J.R.R. Tolkien. And this one I will be listening to on audiobook. I will be listening to the Phil Daglish audiobook of it, and I will link that in the description below. Right underneath the Two Towers one. So I'm so excited to read this book or listen to this book. I have not read it. It's been a really long time since I read this book, so I'm excited to be reminded of what happened in it. And yeah, and also, like, this cover art is the best. I really, really like it. It's really pretty. So that I'm looking forward to immensely, especially since I can play my favorite game while I'm also listening to it, so that's pretty great. The last book I have on my TBR is actually a buddy read. So I don't know if I've said before, but my friend Brianna and I are wanting to buddy read books, at least one book every month, and the one we picked for this month is Bone Criers Dawn by Catherine Purdy. This is the Fairy Loot edition, which is probably why it looks different from one you've seen if you've seen it before. And I don't know, I'm really excited. I mean, look at this cover art though. It's really pretty. I enjoyed the first book. It wasn't like phenomenal or outstanding or anything, but it was a good read. It was a good book to read. It was fun to read. There was a lot of interesting things that happened in it, but this is a duology, I believe, and it is YA fantasy, and I'm just excited to wrap it up and have a full, like, a series. Okay, I don't know, can you call a duology a series? I'm just excited to have that series wrapped up, and I am excited to see what happens, because there was a lot of crap that went down in the first book, and I just need to know, like, what the heck happened after that. So I'm very much looking forward to reading this one. I just don't know when in July we're going to get to it. That's usually something we like wait to figure out later on in the month. So that is my July TBR. Let's see, what am I most looking forward to reading? I think I'm honestly looking forward to reading The Girl in the Mountain the most, because I freaking need to know what happened after that the cliffhanger at the end of the first book. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and that maybe I didn't babble too much since it's been so long since I've been on camera. I like to talk a little bit too much. So anyways, let me know if you read any of the books that I have featured in this video. I know there's like a million of them. It feels like there's a lot. And if you have not, let me know what you plan to read in July. I would love to know. And I will hopefully see you guys in another video. Until then, bye!